when you go to the doctor, tell them, Doctor, whenever I'm walking or going uphill, I'm having this chest heaviness. So this is angina pain. Sensation is as somebody's pressing your chest, and sometimes you describe this as elephant sitting on your chest. अगर ये acutely होता है तो उसको हम unstable disease कहते हैं. The technique is angioplasty. We just inflate a balloon there, put a stent there. Common symptom patient हमें बताते हैं वो ये होता है कि chest heaviness हो रही है, या आपकी सांस फूल रही है, या आपको palpitations हो रही है, धड़कन आपको लग रहा है कि heart is beating fast. अगर हम फिजिकली एक्टिव हैं तो हम जल्दी अपने सिम्टम्स को पहचान सकते हैं और डॉक्टर की सलाह ले सकते हैं. अगर हम फिजिकली इनएक्टिव हैं तो हमें ये सब चीजें तब तक नहीं पता लगेंगी जब तक एडवांस नहीं हो जाए. मैं वेट लिफ्टिंग नहीं करती हूँ और सडनली मैं जाऊँ और मुझे ट्रेनर बोलता है कि आपको वेट लिफ्ट 20 kg 50 kg करना है. So that is a big no-no. If you practice yoga every day, this helps you in long run. Red meat is a big no-no for our patients because it is high in saturated fats. The moment you smoke also increases your blood pressure. The cells get deposited there, and cholesterol is deposited there, and you have heart attack. There is tons of information available on internet.
सब डॉक्टर बने हुए.
Everybody is a doctor. 90% of the people they confuse the heart attack symptoms with gas. ये golden time हम कहते हैं initial 1 or 2 hours. अगर आप इसमें डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं, वो आपकी आर्टरी को ओपन करते हैं तो देयर इज नो मसल डैमेज.
तो क्या हाल है दोस्तों, मेंटालिटी के एक और एपिसोड में आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. आज के हमारे एक बहुत ही एक्साइटिंग गेस्ट हैं डॉक्टर प्रीति शर्मा, हु इज अ कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट. 15 to 20 इयर्स का उनका एक्सपीरियंस है. बहुत सारी चीजें हम बात करेंगे आज. हम हार्ट डिजीज के बारे में, अबाउट हेल्थ के बारे में. सो आई होप यू स्टिक टू द एंटायर पॉडकास्ट एंड वॉच इट टुवर्ड्स द एंड. Dr. Preeti, thank you so much for taking out time and doing the podcast. First things first, मेरे को तो एक तो बहुत सारी बातें करनी है with regards to cardiology, heart health and all of that. उससे पहले बस मैं ये जानना चाहता हूँ कि how did the journey begin with? How did you become a cardiologist? आपके बचपन से ये था? Did you have an inclination towards medicine?
While I was doing my MBBS, finishing MBBS, my father actually had a heart attack. And then I was with him throughout his bypass surgery, taking care of him. And from there, the thing which inside me, I had this thing that, okay, why don't I I become a cardiologist. I want to do cardiology. And from there, this journey actually started that I thought that this is fascinating that how they save lives. And this was the only thought which actually made me going and then have here in front of you.
Journey में what were there any challenges that you had to face या कुछ roadblock? क्योंकि सबके journey में कुछ ना कुछ roadblock, कुछ challenges आते हैं. तो आपके journey में till you became a doctor कुछ challenges थे that आपको face करना था?
Mainly आप देखेंगे कि जो females होती हैं they become gynecologist or ophthalmologist. So in North, a lady becoming a cardiologist, that is not a usual thing. You don't see these many cardiologists. This branch actually is very glamorous. You think that you are saving lives, but on the other hand, you actually have to sometimes, most of the time, your patients are having heart attack in the middle of the night and you are going to the hospital, you are compromising with your sleep. So once you decide about becoming a cardiologist, तब आप ये सब नहीं सोचते हैं. So शुरू में जब मैं कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट बनकर यहाँ आई तो मुझे लगा कि पेशेंट्स की एक्सेप्टेंस टुवर्ड्स फीमेल बीइंग अ कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट, जब रात को मैं उन्हें बताती थी कि हार्ट अटैक है, एंजियोग्राफी करना है, एंजियोप्लास्टी करना है, देन दे वुड लुक अराउंड कि डॉक्टर साहब कौन करेगा. So I'm like मैं करूंगी. So initial years I would say as a doctor, as a cardiologist were challenging. But मुझे लगता है कि मेरे patients ने मुझे बहुत सारा प्यार दिया. उन्होंने recognize किया that how hard working, dedicated I am. And slowly it became like it so happened that now I have patients who get angiographies from other places. Now they come to me and they say, Doctor Saab, I want to get this procedure done by you. So I have started from there. Now I am at this place. Maybe this all has come through the years. And I would say becoming a cardiologist is not that easy. till the time आपका patient stable नहीं है, you cannot leave hospital, you are there by the patient side.
Correct.
And it gives you lots of stress, lots of adrenaline rush.
Right.
So this all is, and this is every day is challenging. I would not say that at this particular moment I don't face this challenge. When I'm sitting talking to you, in the back of my mind I have patience.
Right.
I'm thinking
Obviously. Right.
you are there, it is an emergency, you are there every time for your patients. And you do compromise on other things when you become a cardiologist. Yeah.
आपके हिसाब से what has been how has the field of cardiology evolved over the years from when you started to now?
जब मैं 2005 में अपना ट्रेनिंग कर रही थी कार्डियोलॉजी का, आई डिड फ्रॉम KGMC लखनऊ.
जी.
सो वहाँ पर कुछ स्पेशल जब हम पेशेंट्स देखते थे, कुछ ऐसे पेशेंट्स होते थे जिनको हम ट्रीटमेंट ऑफर ही नहीं कर सकते थे. पेशेंट्स जिनको बहुत सारी कोमॉर्बिडिटीज होते हैं, जैसे एल्डरली पेशेंट्स हैं, फ्रेल पेशेंट्स हैं, फीमेल्स हैं, तो उन और कुछ इतनी अच्छी दवाइयां भी अवेलेबल नहीं थी. आज के समय में बोलूंगी कि टेक्नोलॉजी इतनी एडवांस कर गई है कि वी हैव वेरी गुड मेडिसिन फॉर मैनेजमेंट ऑफ कोलेस्ट्रॉल, for management of high blood pressure, for management of heart failure, as well as there is technology improvement in field of intervention cardiology. जिन patients को हम पहले लोग डरते थे कि 80-82 है, हम एंजियोग्राफी कैसे करेंगे, एंजियोप्लास्टी कैसे करेंगे, but now I mean, they're surprised to see that within 5 minutes, we have done this angiogram and then we can tell them result. Okay. And, I mean, this has become very safe for this group of patients.
Right.
और एक particular group होता था जिसमें कि हम जैसे एल्डरली पेशेंट्स हैं जिनको एओर्टिक डिजीजेज हैं और हाई सर्जिकल रिस्क पेशेंट है, उनको हम देवर बार्ड फ्रॉम हैविंग एनी काइंड ऑफ डेफिनेटिव ट्रीटमेंट. बट नाउ विद इम्प्रूवमेंट ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी लाइक TAVR, TMVR, this aortic valve replacement, transcatheter mitral replacement, we can cater all these group of patients. So we can offer treatment to the group of patients whom we barred them from therapy because of these risk factors. So I would say that, and then we have good results also. Yes.
जैसे अभी आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस आ गया है, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का क्या रोल आप देख रहे हो इन द फील्ड ऑफ कार्डियोलॉजी? कैसा इफेक्ट कर रहा है, कैसा इवॉल्व हो रहा है, एंड व्हाट इज द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस इन द फील्ड ऑफ कार्डियोलॉजी?
I would say most of the machine generated things like ECG. ECG is always AI generated, and पूरे दिन में I will have 5 or 6 patients who come back to me saying, Doctor Saab, you have said ECG is normal, but it is written it as an abnormal ECG.
Right.
So I would say AI is good, but the sensitivity is more, but I would say the specificity is not that good. And it is still the human brain in cardiology which is working for the betterment of patients. So I would say still the reporting thing, the treatment part and the diagnostic part, I would say 10-15% is the role of AI, but the definitive thing comes from the cardiologist.
Yes. Heart को लेके what are the major misconceptions that people generally have when it comes to their heart health?
So I would say there is tons of information available on internet.
सब डॉक्टर बने हुए.
Everybody is a doctor. And I would say one is internet and second is the nearby medical stores.
The chemist is also a doctor.
He is also a doctor. So, and third thing, we have educated patients. Once we tell them that okay, this is required, then they just Google it. Or I write a medicine, they Google it, and they come to me, and sometimes they are telling me the side effects because every medicine has n number of side effects, and we do remember the important ones. But my patients sometimes they walk in and they say, Doctor, you did not mention that this medicine is having this side effect. So there are the things I would say. पेशेंट के मन में बहुत सारी भ्रांति होती है कि डॉक्टर हमें बता नहीं है कि इस मेडिसिन से साइड इफेक्ट होता, और ये भी है कि हम इस दवाई को लॉन्ग टर्म लेंगे तो हमारी किडनी में प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं होगा, लिवर डिजीज तो नहीं हो जाएगा. ये बहुत सारी, जैसे कुछ पेशेंट्स होते हैं कहते हैं डॉक्टर साहब हाई ब्लड प्रेशर की दवाई आपने लिख दी, अगर आप एक बार दवाई लिखेंगे तो फिर तो मुझे जिंदगी भर लेना पड़ेगा. तो देन आई टेल देम कि जिंदगी भर हाई ब्लड प्रेशर लेकर रखने से अच्छा है कि आप दवाई लेकर उसको कंट्रोल में रखें, क्योंकि अगर हाई ब्लड प्रेशर कंट्रोल नहीं होगा तो फिर आपको बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स जैसे कि हार्ट फेलियर, स्ट्रोक, हार्ट अटैक, ये सबका खतरा हो सकता है. ये एक्सेप्टेंस जनरेट करना कई बार हमारे लिए चैलेंजिंग होता है, काउंसलिंग करनी पड़ती है इसकी. तो ये छोटी छोटी चीजें होती है. डायबिटीज की दवाई लाइफ लॉन्ग लेनी पड़ेगी, BP की दवाई लाइफ लॉन्ग लेनी पड़ेगी. सो इस सब चीजों के लिए हमें बहुत काउंसलिंग करनी पड़ती है पेशेंट्स की, और उन्हें बताना पड़ता है कि अगर हम इन्हें ट्रीट नहीं करेंगे तो उससे आपको प्रॉब्लम हो सकती है.
कार्डियोलॉजी के फील्ड में कोई ऐसे इम्पोर्टेंट एडवांसमेंट्स हो रहे हैं टेक्नोलॉजिकल हो गए, थ्योरेटिकल हो गए, या टेक्निकल चीजें अभी कोई ऐसी एडवांसमेंट्स आई हैं जो अभी इम्प्लीमेंट हो रही हैं इन द फील्ड ऑफ कार्डियोलॉजी?
We actually compare the time when we were learning, when we were in the phase of learning. So तब क्या होता था कि जब भी कोई पेशेंट्स, एल्डरली पेशेंट्स आते थे जिनकी कैल्सिफाइड आर्टरीज होती थी, उनको द डॉक्टर यूज्ड टू से ओके दीज आर्टरीज आर नॉट गुड फॉर स्टेंट्स, वी कैन नॉट डू एनीथिंग, वी कैन नॉट डू बाईपास एंड अदरवाइज. नाउ वी हैव टेक्नोलॉजी अवेलेबल like rotablation, atherectomy devices, shockwave lithotripsy, which is a simple technique, and we can remove calcium and put stent and then offer them treatment. Or dialysis patient.
Right.
In Rome, we used to think that giving contrast or something can harm their kidneys.
Right.
But it is not so nowadays for kidney patients. So we can treat them safely with the recent kind of contrast available with us, with recent techniques which we have learned over the years.
Right.
So this group of patients, and third is elderly patients with multiple comorbidities, frail patients. We can cater to them because we have smaller sheets. Because अगर आपको पहले कभी किसी का एंजियोग्राफी एक्सपीरियंस होता है कि थाई की आर्टरी से करते हैं.
एंजियोग्राफी में आप थोड़ा सा एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिए एग्जैक्टली होता क्या है?
When you go to the doctor and you go to your cardiologist or your physician and you tell them, whenever I'm walking or going uphill, I'm having this chest heaviness. So this is angina pain. So angina pain is because जो आपकी हार्ट होता है, that is a muscle we all know. और हार्ट का काम सिर्फ ये होता है कि वो पूरी बॉडी को ऑक्सीजनेटेड मसल ब्लड सप्लाई करता है. हार्ट को ऑक्सीजन और न्यूट्रिशन देने के लिए हमारी कोरोनरी आर्टरीज होती है जो उसके सरफेस पे रन करती हैं. 3 कोरोनरी आर्टरीज होती है. तो जब इन आर्टरीज में ब्लॉक आता है और पेशेंट जब एक्सरसाइज करता है तो उतना ऑक्सीजन न्यूट्रिशन में नहीं जाता, जिसकी वजह से मसल का वो हिस्सा जो होता है, स्कीमिया होता है, पेन हो जाता है. अगर ये एक्यूटली होता है तो उसको हम अनस्टेबल डिजीज कहते हैं, एक्यूट कोरोनरी सिंड्रोम कहते हैं. तो जब आप पेशेंट जब डॉक्टर के पास आते हैं कि डॉक्टर साहब हमें थोड़े दिन से चलने से छाती में दर्द हो रहा है, थोड़ा सा चलने से छाती में दर्द हो रहा है, तो हम उन पेशेंट्स को एंजियोग्राफी एडवाइस करते हैं. उसपे आजकल 2 तरह की एंजियोग्राफी है. एक नॉन इन्वेजिव CT एंजियोग्राफी, where they put a cannula, they give contrast, put you on the CT machine, and then within 5 minutes the test is over and we get a information about how much calcium is there, how much blockage is there, and then from that information we can treat our patient. And one group of patient is who need definitive diagnostic therapy, which is coronary angiography, which we do with the hand artery. And then we take a catheter, we hook these coronaries, we give contrast, see on monitor, make a film, and then we tell our patients that, okay, this artery is having some 90% block. If a person is having 90% block, then as soon as they start exerting themselves or they eat something, they start feeling chest heaviness. So obviously we have to correct the stenosis. So how do we do that? The technique is angioplasty. We just inflate a balloon there, put a stent there. So this is angioplasty. This is the treatment part of heart attack or unstable angina or atrial Mills syndrome, which people say in their normal term that patient को heart attack आएगा. So this is how we treat these patients.
Right. कोई normal जो person है who's going through his regular routine and he's carrying on his daily life and all of that, he suddenly starts having some heart disease. What are the major symptoms that he can identify कि ये मेरे को problem हो रही है, I should consult a doctor?
People who are walking, who are active, they can identify their symptoms. Like if once somebody is having a heart disease, so as soon as they start exerting, where they can have chest heaviness, if there are blockages in the artery, if the heart pumping has gone down, they will feel fatigue. Like थोड़ा सा पेशेंट आते हैं, कहते हैं कि डॉक्टर साहब हम पहले 1 किलोमीटर का राउंड लेते थे, अभी हम 200 मीटर चलते हैं तो हमको खारीपन हो जाता है, या हमारी सांस खो जाती है, या हमें एक चक्कर लगाने का मन नहीं करता, बीच में बैठ जाते हैं. सो दिस इज फटीग. सो अगर आपको जो काम आप पहले नॉर्मली कर रहे थे, अभी उसको करने में आपको सिम्टम्स हो रहे हैं, तो इट मीन्स देयर इज समथिंग रॉन्ग एंड यू शुड गेट योरसेल्फ चेक. सो जो कॉमन सिम्टम पेशेंट हमें बताते हैं वो ये होता है कि चेस्ट हेवीनेस हो रही है आपको चलने से, एक्सर्शन से, या आपकी सांस फूल रही है, या आपको पैल्पिटेशंस हो रही है, धड़कन आपको लग रहा है कि हार्ट इज बीटिंग फास्ट, दैट इज पैल्पिटेशन. या एकदम से आप घर में थे, नॉर्मल थे, या कहीं चल रहे थे, आपको बेहोशी हो गई, ट्रांजिट. So that we call syncope in medical language. So बेहोशी हो जाना सडनली. So ये सारे जो लक्षण हैं ये हार्ट की वजह से हो सकते हैं, हार्ट की बीमारी की वजह से. So मैं अपने पेशेंट्स को यही बोलती हूँ कि अर्ली डिटेक्शन के लिए इम्पोर्टेंट यही रहता है, अगर हम फिजिकली एक्टिव हैं तो हम जल्दी अपने सिम्टम्स को पहचान सकते हैं और डॉक्टर की सलाह ले सकते हैं। अगर आप फिजिकली इनएक्टिव है तो हमें ये सब चीजें तब तक नहीं पता लगेंगी जब तक एडवांस नहीं हो जाए।
राइट राइट राइट। तो मैम मेरे को एक चीज काफी जैसे आजकल काफी लोगों के साथ हो रहा है, इट्स बिकम वेरी वेरी recurring now. People who have been going to the gym for some time, जिम में मिसहैप्स हो रहे हैं, people have started having strokes, heart attacks in the gym while working out. ऐसा what is the reason? Because gym तो जनरली क्या होता है, it's recommended, you're exercising in the gym, you're working out your body and all of that, that's a good thing, right? But gym while exerting your body physically, ऐसा क्या हो रहा है कि उनको हार्ट अटैक्स आ रहा है जिम में? व्हाट इज द मेन रीजन?
Whenever you're doing an exercise, any unaccustomed exercise can put you at risk of arrhythmia or sudden death or heart attack. Suppose मैं वेट लिफ्टिंग नहीं करती हूँ और सडनली मैं जाऊँ और मुझे ट्रेनर बोलता है कि आपको वेट लिफ्ट करना 20 kg 50 kg करना है, so that is a big no. If you are doing, or if you are stressing your body too much, like we have incidences when person was working out for more than 2 or 3 hours. So that is not done. I mean, it is a moderate physical activity which is good for your heart health or for your health.
Right.
It is if you go if you are doing it in an excessive manner or any unaccustomed manner, then it can harm you.
Right.
So my take on is that.
Right.
And third thing which I emphasize in each and every talk of mine or each and every public awareness thing, that while we are at gym, while we are at cinema halls, malls or airports, but we should have these defibrillator facilities. If you go abroad, you see that everywhere in every gym, they have this defibrillator facility. So what is happening is person is having arrhythmia. If you shock them and normalize the rhythm, you can save lives, which is not a norm here. So I think we should set some norms while we are opening this gym.
Right.
But the person's safety, it comes first.
Correct.
When we are trying to give them a healthy lifestyle. So this is what my thinking is, and we should move in that direction, that when we are making these exercises safe for our people, safe for our youngsters.
Right.
Because they don't know at what level you are actually doing wrong. Maybe your heart rate has gone up to 190, 200 and you are exerting yourself. And your heart will, suddenly you will be prone for arrhythmias. Right. This is what happens.
Right.
Or you have not eaten anything, or you are dehydrated. Right. You are running marathon without having adequate hydration. So this can trouble you.
What are the 4-5 things or the a couple of things that people should keep in mind to ensure that he has a healthy heart or a healthy lifestyle? What should he do?
When I tell my patient that you have to control your blood pressure, your sugar, and you have to follow a healthy lifestyle. So everybody is confused with what is healthy lifestyle. So it is like in day to day, you're doing things mindfully. So it starts from whatever you are eating, your food, which is very important. So you have to have a balanced kind of a diet, which is rich in fruits, vegetables, some amount of nerves, grays, and you are consuming less of sugar and salt.
Less of sugar.
Sugar and salt, chocolates, ice creams. You're having, and processed food, trans fats, like we eat so much fried food like samosas, pakoras. So we should limit all these saturated trans fats, which is very common in India. Like we are having every tihar, we are having puris, deep fried things. So this is, you have to be mindful about what you are eating. Number one.
Right.
Number two, along with that, you have to have a regular exercise schedule. I have people who don't actually have time. They're busy from morning to evening, but I tell them, just take out half an hour for your body. Because if you keep your body healthy, then this is going to support you in your day-to-day normal activity or whatever stress you are taking throughout the day. Along with that, I tell my patients with diet, exercise. Number 3 is not to smoke. It is not.
मैं उस पे आ रहा था yeah, please.
A third is alcohol. So alcohol, I mean, you will find n amount of literature on internet available. Some saying that this amount of alcohol is heart friendly, heart healthy, and you should be a moderate drinker. So some of the patients after having heart attack, they actually come to me and ask, Dr. Saab, should we have red wine? Because I have read somewhere that it is good for heart. But now let me tell you, the latest research says that not a single amount of alcohol is good for you. And it is now linked to cancers also, heart failure, hypertension, cancers also. So I tell them, if you are not drinking, then please don't start. It is not going to make you fit or not going to make your heart healthy. So this is this. And number 4, I would say good sleep. 6 to 8
sleep
hours.
pattern.
Yeah, sleep pattern, 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and to cut down stress in real life. So stress can precipitate a number of things. It can give you sleep deprivation actually can put you at risk of high blood pressure, can give you diabetes,
Correct.
can give you other things, other health related problems.
Right.
So these are the basics you should follow in your day to day.
So it's a gradual process.
Yes.
It's a
And once I tell my patients that you should exercise, the first thing they ask me, Doctor Sahab, gym join kar le kal se. So I tell them ki it is nothing fancy about going to a gym or something. You can just walk, just have a good pair of shoes, just walk, cycle, or if you like dance or just do yoga or something, just indulge yourself in some kind of
physical aspect.
yeah. So this is what. I mean, it is not that once I'm telling you to exercise that I'm asking you to join a gym
Right,
tomorrow or
right.
other things.
ये जो हार्ट डिजीज जो होता है एक तो जैसे अभी आपने एक्सप्लेन करा कि दिस इज बिकॉज ऑफ द लाइफस्टाइल पैटर्न एंड व्हाट यू कंज्यूम एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट इज इट आल्सो एट टाइम्स जेनेटिक also if the father has it or the mother has it वो through genetics
Yes.
अच्छा
So जब भी हम हार्ट अटैक या कोरोनरी आर्टरी डिजीज की बात करते हैं तो आई विल गिव एन एग्जांपल इफ आई एम गोइंग इन द मिडल ऑफ द नाइट आई do primary angioplasties which is life saving in heart attack patients, and the first question the family asked me, his wife asked me, Doctor Sahab, he was not doing anything wrong. He goes for walks, he is eating right, and he doesn't smoke, he doesn't take alcohol, then what has gone wrong? Then the first thing I asked, then do you have a family history of heart disease? So these are the non-modifiable risk factors. If you have these genes, if there is history of premature heart disease or stroke in your family, then you are prone to have these heart disease. So it is advisable to diagnose yourself early. Maybe you start your getting tested at the age of 30-35. When a normal person starts it at 40-45. So you start it early, get your checks done, and just know your risk. So that you are aware that okay, and just have a lifestyle which can actually delay the happening of these kind of untoward events.
किसी को स्ट्रेस है how does stress can eventually lead to heart disease or and heart attack and all of that अगर आप थोड़ा सा explain करें इसको
वो पता क्या है कि person is actually anxious, their heart rate increases, and their behavioral changes also happen. So they start doing binge eating and all. So it actually
a lot of processed food
sugars
Sugar.
basically. So it actually gives you a kind of disease which we call metabolic syndrome. Like you're obese, you're sitting, you're not going and meeting people. You are most of the time idle. You are thinking about something, and that's the kind of vicious cycle which is happening.
right
So stress giving you a poor dietary, indulging you in having poor things, and it is actually sugars, high blood pressure, sleep deprivation, stress, you're not able to sleep also. So all these things, they impact, and then they make you prone to have risk factors like your blood pressure increases, your sugars go deranged, you gain weight. So all this actually can precipitate for heart disease or for having a heart attack. And sometimes a sudden emotional outburst or sudden emotional stress, like you have lost someone, like you have a severe financial loss. I have seen 1 or 2 patients. They actually, there is a catecholamine rise, and then your heart actually gives way, and that this is a kind of cardiomyopathy, Takotsubo cardiomyopathy we call this. So your heart is actually not pumping adequately, and this is a sudden event just after an emotional stress. So this can also, or sudden separation. This can actually
trigger that
yeah, this can trigger that. This can trigger a heart attack. This can give you cardiomyopathy, low heart pumping. So this is the stress can actually trouble you with in form of having a all these things, and can precipitate sometimes can precipitate arrhythmias also, and then trouble you.
जो ये स्ट्रेस और एंजाइटी होता है हाउ बिकॉज ऐसा नहीं है कि somebody thinks about it कि मैं स्ट्रेस आज मेरे को स्ट्रेस है नहीं है it comes to you very organically unconsciously you are going through it but it's not in your control right stress and anxiety ऐसा होता है so in that situation what should one do
Basically we do have people who come to us and then they say Doctor Sahab, I'm having brahat or I'm having palpitations. So we examine them, we check them, when the reports are fine, then we ask them, you do have any kind of stress? Then they are able to relate it, okay, I'm not able to sleep or I'm having work tension and this and that. So I would say the counseling thing which is actually people keep it to themselves. They don't talk to their friends about it. They don't talk to their relatives about it. They don't talk to their doctors about it.
Right.
And there are counselors there. So you should actually go meet them. And then only you will realize the kind of symptoms you are having is actually stress. There's nothing else. So you have to speak it out to your near ones, loved ones, and to your doctor also sometimes. They can help you out in managing these kind of situations.
How does stress impact the heart, and what strategies can one do? Is it एक्सरसाइजिंग मोर और काउंसलिंग जैसे भी आपने मेंशन करा वो कर सकते हैं, तो और क्या चीजें कर सकते हैं?
Relaxation exercises, relaxation techniques.
Do you think yoga helps with stress management?
It calms you down, it calms you down, it lowers your sympathetic tone, it lowers your heart rate, it stabilizes this. So it helps these patients who are hyperactive, hyperthinkers. It actually helps you to concentrate. So I think yoga is very good for all these things. I mean, if you practice yoga every day, or you are kind of doing some part of meditation, so this helps you in long run. This actually helps you in managing stress and anxiety to a certain level.
Ma'am, when it comes to eating habits, what are some foods that you should consume? Intake of more of fiber, more of protein, more of carbohydrates, or it should be a balance of everything?
As a cardiologist, I would say that we should have a kind of balanced diet, which has certain amount of protein, certain amount of carbohydrate, and certain amount of fats also. It is not that fat is bad for your health. It is like saturated fat. You have to consume less than 15% of your total daily consumption.
Correct.
Everything comes like your carbohydrates give you instant energy. It's like 30%, 30-40% proteins, and then comes fat. So it should be a balance of everything, along with, I would say, fruits and vegetables, which are mainly carbohydrate. And if we talk of animal protein, so I would say this is also good, but the red meat is a big no-no. You can indulge in lean meat. Yeah, proteins.
So red meat is
red meat is a big no-no for our patients.
Why is that?
Because it is high in saturated fats. And then this troubles our patients. This deranges their cholesterols. It increases the uric acid. Predisposes them for having heart attacks and strokes and this is not good for our patients.
Right. अभी आपने mention करा था about smoking and drinking. थोड़ा सा I would like to know from you in थोड़ा सा brief, if you want to expand it also. What are the technicalities? How does smoking and drinking affect the heart? क्या करता है body the moment you consume it? What happens inside the heart?
The moment you smoke, your heart rate increases. It also increases your blood pressure. And the nicotine, it affects your endothelial lining of your arterial wall. It actually injures the lining of your arterial wall and makes it prone. It becomes sticky and makes it prone for having deposition of cells and all. And this is how the cells get deposited there, and cholesterol is deposited there, and you have heart attack. So smoking that way can harm you. And along with this, as it is harming your endothelial or blood vessel, it harms your lung, the alveoli of your lung, the basic unit of respiration. This is how it predisposes the lung conditions also. And as soon as you quit smoking, your heart rate comes down, your blood pressure settles down. And then maybe after 10 to 15 years of quitting smoking, you are as normal as other person who has ever smoked.
When we talk about having a heart attack, what are the major symptoms that because क्या होता है, and please correct me if I'm wrong, this is personally coming from a personal experience also. At times when you have some gut problem also, like some acidity also, some symptoms might vary. Because मेरे साथ भी हुआ है, I have a major gut problem, I'm admitting this, but कभी मुझे लगा कि my heart is pumping too fast. And एक बार क्या हुआ था कि I then visited a doctor. They said कि you have some major gastric issues and symptoms might be similar. It might not be a heart disease or related to that. It was a major acidic issue and all of that. Is that true? Are the symptoms sometimes?
So जैसे आपने हार्ट अटैक के सिम्टम्स की बात की, तो अगर हम हार्ट अटैक के सिम्टम्स की बात करें, क्लासिकली स्पीकिंग, इट इज अ चेस्ट पेन विच इज इन द मिडल ऑफ द चेस्ट, radiating to your left arm, to your neck, or to your jaw. So this is, and the sensation is as somebody's pressing your chest. And sometimes you describe this as elephant sitting on your chest.
Acha. Okay.
This is a pressure kind of a sensation. And along with this, you can have palpitation, you can have breathing difficulty, nausea, vomiting, fainting. So this all can be associated with this chest pain. So we do have people who are presented late. And then I ask them, when you're having symptoms, why wouldn't you, like I'm talking of intelligent people, like teachers, like other professionals. And when they present late with heart attack, then I ask them, then you took 12 hours, you took 24 hours, and you're coming after that time. Maybe I cannot offer you that best treatment, or if I offer you, the treatment is not going to help you in a manner which if you have presented early, maybe in a 12 hours time would have helped you.
Correct.
So you have to understand that this classical symptom, this will only happen in 85% of people, 80% of people. 15% of people will have atypical symptoms. Now we come to atypical symptoms. Atypical symptoms can be you are having chest pain on your right side. People confuse it. They say that pain should be on left side because my heart is on the left side. So some people can have pain on the right side of the chest also. Some people, especially females, they have atypical symptoms, like they will not have, or diabetics, they will not have chest pain. They will have sudden breathing difficulty, like आपकी suddenly सांस फूलना शुरू हो गई है, suddenly आपको fatigue लगने लग गया, या nausea vomiting हो रहा है. So this can be a symptom of heart attack. And elderly people, so as you mentioned, they can have epigastric discomfort. So this is a symptom of heart attack. So mostly you will say 90% of the people, they confuse the heart attack symptoms with gas in Indian scenario.
Right.
So initially they will think that it is gas. They will take
something related to gas.
or very common pentosate, Vantec, antacids. And when they feel that, okay, now 2 or 3 or 4 hours have passed and I'm not relieved, there is something wrong. It is not gas.
Correct.
Now I should go to the doctor. So I would say, जब हार्ट अटैक होता है तो आपकी आर्टरी 100% बंद है और उससे सप्लाई जो आपकी मसल है उसको कोई ऑक्सीजन न्यूट्रिशन नहीं मिल रहा है. तो ये गोल्डन टाइम हम कहते हैं इनिशियल 1 or 2 hours. अगर आप इसमें डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं, वो आपकी आर्टरी को ओपन करते हैं, देयर इज नो मसल डैमेज.
Right.
You are as normal as before having a heart attack. But अगर आप मेरे पास 12 घंटे बाद आते हैं तो most of the muscle is damaged by the time. And if I open a artery, I do angioplasty at this particular point of time, maybe your heart pumping will not be as normal as it was before having a heart attack.
Right.
Maybe you cannot do activities like, people do ask me, डॉक्टर साहब हम बैडमिंटन खेलते थे, हम रनिंग करते थे, जॉगिंग करते थे, हार्ट अटैक के बाद हमारी लाइफ कैसे चेंज होगी. सो अगर आप लेट ट्रीटमेंट लेते हैं हार्ट अटैक में, तो मे बी योर हार्ट पंपिंग, योर हार्ट जो एफिशिएंसी है दैट गोज डाउन एंड यू कैन नॉट बी एज नॉर्मल एज यू वर बिफोर. सो द इम्पोर्टेंस इज timely recognition of your symptoms, especially heart attack and stroke. If you are there in hospital initial 2 to 3 hours, we have such good facilities available in our city also that you can get timely treatment and you can be as normal as you were before having the heart attack. Definitely your doctor will ask you to have certain medications, ask you to have good lifestyle,
right?
But you can be as normal as you were having before having this heart attack. This is the importance of recognition of similar issues. So बहुत सारे पेशेंट कहते हैं, डॉक्टर साहब रात को छोला और बूढ़ी खाया था and then रात को छोला, रात को गैस. I mean, you would not believe.
So have a very light dinner is what you're saying.
I would say जैसे आपने पूछा डाइट के बारे में, मुझे ऐसा लगता है with my personal experience, if you have early dinner, like if you're sleeping at 10:30, if you have finished your dinner by 8 o'clock, so then you can avoid all these symptoms like bloating, like GERD, GERD symptoms कि आपको acid reflux हो रही है या आपको discomfort हो रही है when you are lying in the bed. So I would find intermittent fasting in a good manner while you have a 12 hours window while you are not eating. I think it is health. It is good for your health and good for your heart and other diseases also, and weight management also.
Right. These heart transplants that happen, in what conditions do these heart transplants happen, and what is the success rate of these heart transplants, and when is it actually necessary to get a heart transplant done?
Heart transplant is when your heart is actually not working optimally to supply oxygen and nutrition.
Those are there extreme cases?
Yeah, so I will tell you that after having a heart attack, suppose if your pumping has gone down, so normal heart pumping efficiency, which we call ejection fraction, is 55 to 65%. and you have come to your doctor after 48 hours and your pumping has gone down to 20%. So now we have good medications available that sometimes it can help you, treatment can help you, and then you can improve your efficiency of heart. But sometimes when we follow these 20% patients, maybe for initial 2 or 3 years, we say that they are able to perform their activities without having any breathing therapy or any fatigue and anything. But after certain years of having this low ejection fraction or heart failure, there comes a time when the medicines you are prescribing, the devices you have given is not helping your patient. And now your patient is having actually symptoms in performing simple things, simple tasks like bathing, like wearing clothes, like walking few steps. So this is we call stage 4 or advanced heart failure. So this is the stage where we tell our patient, and now this is a time that you should list yourself for heart transplant. The biggest problem with heart transplant is the scarcity of organs.
Scarcity of organs.
Yeah. So you see that in our city or in North, we don't have organs available for transplant these easily. So there is a long waiting list.
Right.
So that is a big problem. There should be an awareness campaign about donating your organs so that you can help these patients who are actually needy and need this at that particular point of time to save their lives, because it can save lives. And if we talk of success rate, it is 55 to 65% depending on patients' comorbidities. Like young patients, young children, they behave but beautifully. And I do have a couple of patients of mine, and people who are a little older and had comorbidities, they are sometimes having other problems which trouble them. So I would say 55 to 65% success rate is there. And in a good center, it can improve, but it depends in what conditions you have actually done the transplant for that patient.
What are the common myths that generally people have when it comes to heart diseases or heart attacks, whatever?
I would start from high blood pressure. So one thing is that patient would think if you start giving medication, lifelong medication. So they would use alternative medication. I would not name. They would try other things before coming to the doctor. That now I have tried everything, every gharelu nuskha, and then it is not working for me. Now is the time that I should see a doctor. Second thing is, once with the medication, your blood pressure or diabetes in control, they just leave these medications. They are lost to follow. They won't come to the doctor unless and until there is again an episode where they're having that.
So you should regularly keep on consulting
maybe
the doctor.
3 months, 4 months, you should be in follow-up of your
Follow-up of the doctor.
to adjust your medication, because sometimes we need to see other parameters also. Maybe I'm giving you a medicine, I need to check your creatinine, your potassium levels. If you are not coming to me, then how would I can guide you on that? So maybe a timely follow-up, maybe continuation of medication. There are people for 20 years that are taking same medication and they're controlled on that. But I must tell you, now we have medications which help them in a nicer way. But if you go to a doctor, then only he or she can prescribe you these medications and make your life better. Yeah.
How do you think that social media is affecting the public awareness when it comes to heart diseases? Do you think in the social media domain, do people talk about heart diseases as much as abhi there's a big void that people are not talking about the importance of heart diseases socially or in the media?
I think media is helping in creating awareness amongst people. But the thing is that there's, as I mentioned, tons of information. People actually, they get confused what to have, what to not, what not to have. Like, should I eat this? This is heart healthy, or this is not heart healthy. So, ultimately, too much of information. I think sometimes to a person, it can be bad in certain manner. So while we are doing something, we are telling something, we should be telling them in a justified manner so that they can follow. I mean, there are n number of studies saying this is good for your heart, alcohol is good for your heart, desi ghee is good for your heart.
I consume on rotis probably if you put a little bit of ghee. That much only I consume.
Yeah, so that much is healthy. So that much fat is healthy. Now, if you start cooking in desi ghee, and if you're pouring ghee in everything, in your dal, in your sabji and everything, just to get the taste of it, which initially people used to have, but they used to work out a lot. They used to walk a lot. Nowadays, most of us, after having a workout schedule in the morning, most of the time it is sedentary for most
sedentary lifestyle, correct.
So, you have saturated fat. I say ghee is good, but in a certain amount. Butter you can have in a certain amount. So, this is not, I'm not saying that this is a big no-no. So have everything with a pinch of salt.
Right.
Just read everything, but just imbibe things which you think are good for your heart. And if you are confused, and go to your dietitian, go to your doctor, clear out your confusions. So this is important.
Generally also people, especially in the corporate sector, people have started working. There's a lot of competition. Competition बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया है. How can an individual maintain that work-life balance between their health also and their work also, so that they stay in a they can maintain a healthy lifestyle? So how can you have that balance?
So as you mentioned, competition, I would say even I'm working in a corporate, and we also have competition amongst ourselves, but we all sit and decide that we will have a healthy competition. So I'm not I will not envy other people who are having a good growth or something.
Correct.
Rather, I will try to do something good for my patients, something good for myself, so that I can be steady in my end. So there's one way of taking competition. Always take it in a good way. A healthy competition is always good for your growth. If there's no competition, you're stagnant.
Correct.
You don't think in a different manner. You don't think new things. You're not doing new things. You're not taking risks, which is actually important for your growth, for your career growth, for your professional growth. So I would say take it in a right manner. And second thing, I would say, if you're troubled, stress management. This is very important. So this is one aspect which most of us, we don't put emphasis on. So this is also important if you are troubled by anything at your workplace, or you are having problems in your growth. So just be steady. Be steady. Don't be anxious about it. And this is not a short process. It is a long process. You see yourself from 5 or 10 years from now. You are not seeing yourself tomorrow or day after or Saturday or something. So just be steady, be consistent, do good things. I think this will pay you in long run.
What advice would you give young medical students and aspiring cardiologists?
Now we have so many medical colleges coming in, and now we have so many students. As when I was doing my training, we used to be 4 people who were doing super specialization in cardiology. Now we have 12 candidates in the same batch. So obviously the work distribution is less. I mean, you get less amount of as at our time we used to get, and maybe the skill set is not that optimal as we used to have once. There were few people, and the teacher or the seniors have more focus on you. They will teach you, they will ask you whether you have learned this or not. Nowadays, I think the time has come that if you want to build a career in medicine, you have to think yourself, you have to sit down. Nobody will teach you. You have to sit down, you have to think about it. What kind of branch you are choosing now? I have seen the youth, they want an easy life.
Less of struggle.
Yes, less of struggle and more of money. More of money. So I would say money is a byproduct. If you are good at something, eventually you will
get money.
You'll get money. So just concentrate on being good and excel in whatever you are trying to do. If you want to become a cardiologist, just do it wholeheartedly. It is not that you will treat patients in the daytime only, and in the night, if you have a heart attack patient, you can tell your colleague to go and do the angioplasty. As a cardiologist, you have a responsibility towards your patients. Like, you have to run in the middle of the night, go there, do the procedure, and the smile you see on their face the next day,
Right.
nothing can beat it.
Before we leave, any final advice to the listeners of how to have a healthy lifestyle, or make sure that there is more productivity that goes into whatever they're doing, and to make sure that you don't overdo, don't get into these bad habits of smoking or drinking and all that? What is your last piece of advice for the listeners?
I would say discipline in life. First thing, I would say discipline in life. Second, companionship. Have some good friends, have somebody with whom you can discuss out your heart, your problems, and eating right and exercising regularly and having a good sleep. I think in nutshell, this all is going to help you in long run you can have a good health as well as a good heart. At the age of, I would say, 70 and 80, if you are disciplined and have all this in your normal day-to-day.
Right. Thank you so much for taking out time and doing the podcast. There has been so much insights in your conversation. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me. It was nice talking to you, and I'm sure that people will benefit from whatever we have just the conversation we had in this maybe last 40-50 minutes. I think this will help our listeners or viewers. Thank you.
तो guys, ये थी हमारी conversation with Dr. Preeti Sharma. तो I hope you enjoyed the podcast and please do like, share and subscribe to The Mentality.